It came from my journal, so it was just me kind of brainstorming on some feelings. So here goes. Have you ever seized yourself in a moment when for once you were contemplating alone? You then realize that your life is exactly what you had always inquired, only much more exquisite. You came to conclusions using self-esteem breaking experiences. You imagined all the years of shredded tears and memories of uselessness, and one day you took a stand as you wept in your own hands saying, "I refuse to live like this." Did you whimper an exhausted breath as your own truths came crashing into your chest? Did you recall that the universal ingredients that formed the better parts of you had never left, that they could never be erased and would remain retraceable for all of time? The worth of all the struggles was the willing to fight for your divine light, and the confidence radiated from inside. Did you remember where you came from and how it all began? That we are powerful beyond measure, and the fears you ran from were circling the aspects of a bigger plan. So that's Have You Ever. Again, I have books up here for sale if anybody is interested in poetry. They're also for sale at my shop amongst like 50 other local authors and poets. I'm probably going to keep plugging that in there because I'm doing poetry today. Okay, so everybody has had an addiction or something that has held them down, whether it be cigarettes or coffee or Facebook or whatever have you. And I struggled with a little bit of alcoholism. I love drinking, and I have Irish and Italian in my blood, so that got me into trouble a couple different times. It's okay to have a beverage, and it's okay to have your fun, but you need to know your limits and what's going to get you into danger zone and screw your life up. And didn't quite get there for me. I caught it in time, and I can still have a beverage and be fine, but it's learning to grab a hold of things before they control you, knowing that you're the one in control. So with that being said, thank you, dearest. I wrote a piece, and it's called One-Way Ticket. And real quick, I'm just going to grab the page number. I had it memorized, and I'm just going to roll with it. There may be a few things I need to cheat from. It's been a minute since I performed it. But after I actually had performed it at Equality Fest last year, I had people from the Heroin Project reaching out to me to do this piece there for those struggling with their addictions. So anywho, One-Way Ticket. I am a woman who has struggled in and out of addiction. Crossing such a death-trapping line was never an option for me, but once I had crossed it, I promised myself I'd turn back, eventually. Almost as if I had purchased a two-way ticket and somewhere along the way I accidentally lost it. And though I had not forgotten about it, that sudden emptiness in my wallet, my clenching jaws from what I'd swallowed, listening to the whiskey whispering into my core, so achy and hollowed. It was as if I was stuck in a repetitious nightmare teasing with mirages inside of my sorrows. The numbing sensation was so clever in sedating and erasing the formations of what could have been my tomorrows to follow, but still I continued to swallow. Oh, the times I had spent wasted on being wasted and subconsciously borrowing the illusion of wasting away, and all the alcohol came along poor decision. Money spent on countless drinks, only filling the empty in hopes I could sink. I would tell myself it's not that bad. As the voice in my head started adding up the math, I'd begin to break promises to myself that I wanted to forget I was making, and deep down inside I was hoping that I would have made them. That sounds like something oneself would have said, and then again I was only hoping I'd forget what day it was meant for me. Addiction decided to carry its baggage on in and park itself inside. Stayed a while, renting of my property. I'm fine, I would say. And meanwhile, my inner machine would twitch its gears in me, unable to perform to my utmost performance with ingenuity and follow intelligent decision-making consistently. And reaching agreement only through my sleep, I would drop to my knees, slashing bottles, watching the shattered pieces navigating down my throat, filling a void that felt so thirsty. I saw the fire as my hands began to burn, as if they were clenching balls of raging flames, and I was forcing them into the earth, smashing and combusting all of my burdens into her dirt. Addiction ignited within as I watched my funeral procession begin for what it was worth. And now, finally reaching agreement with self while awake, I choose one-way ticket. Addiction can keep all of its limitations and backstabbing catastrophes. I won't be needing them where I'm going. It can take back all crashing cars and scarred up faces, eruption poured into our skeletal cages, the fallacies it's raged me with, and even the taxes they charge for that shit. I am thirsty for bliss. And gripping such addictions did not provide me with this. Reach for one's happiness. And I promised the horizon would look more beautiful once I was sober enough to see it. So there's a one-way ticket.